𝙃𝙚𝙗𝙖 𝙃𝙚𝙡. Grand greetings and abundant blessings to us all. I do go by Baba Lex. Welcome back to the channel. And thank you so much to those of you who are here on a Monday. Once again, this is Masks Off November. And this is episode 8 or lesson 8. Episode 8, lesson 8, teachings 8. And this is the, let's call it the preludes in terms of also on the back of October and all of the campaigns that we've been pretty much consciously, consistently, up to, busy with since 2020, okay? Even before. But that's when it really kicked off, okay, after the rapture. So now, where we find ourselves is in a beautiful space, okay? So before we kick off with episode 8, that was just a bit of a shift, a bit of a change, because you can tell that as soon as we want to come live, they always seem to try and block the energy. So we do not consent to negative energy, okay? This is for educational purposes only. Those of you here to join live for the teachings, please do get out your pen and pad. This is episode 8. I'm sure you can see there in the description. Just let me know where you're from in the comments. Let us know if this is your first episode. Okay? My moderators in here will be pinning some questions. Also, those of you with questions, remember this is episode 8. There's those on our YouTube channel where you can go and check it out. Also, shout out, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. We appreciate. All right, so when we kicked off with Masks Off November, this is the prelude to my book, which is coming out in the January 2025. Okay, and 𝙃𝙚𝙗𝙖𝙗. That book is pretty much a teachings of how to interact with yourself and your cells, okay? Interacting with yourself and your cells. This is something which they don't teach you. And when I say they, we mean the system, all right? In other words, the book, also the law of attunement, is one step above in terms of consciousness of the law of attraction, all right? Mina, just a young man all the way from Mzansi, South Africa, creating such things, but also not going mainstream. Because in mainstream, someone's screaming, always. All right, and so we're attempting to be aware of all of these systemic traps. All right, number one, be aware of them within yourself and your cells. Otherwise, you will continuously have the same outcomes in your external reality. This is just how it is. All right, the more you neglect yourself, the more you become a cancer to yourself. Okay, so now as the planet is shifting, as that sun is shifting, she, okay, Gaia, Earth, whatever you want to call her, she is changing her body from a 3rd dimensional body into a 5th dimensional body. All right, once again, if you haven't joined, go back and check the episodes all the way from introduction into bypassing. Okay, and then let me just double check that for you quickly. Into bypassing, which was 2, then 3 parasites, all right, 4 programming, 5 junk, quote unquote DNA, blood crystal gnosis, number 6, number 7, multidimensional awareness. That was on Friday. Beautiful. The Fridays we've been going live have been amazing because it's just a different space. Once again, when you want to break programs within yourself and your cells, you must be able to pivot from the mainstream, okay? You mustn't be drinking from the mainstreams. Togo's sister Rose, all right, all the way from Cape Town originally, but nomads and also workers in the light, by also first transmuting your darkness, okay? You cannot call yourself a light worker or someone who works with energy and you yourself are poisonous. You see, that's counterproductive to yourself and your cells. You see, you start to get these things such as attacks but it looks foreign. But it's not. It's your cells. This is what cancers and things are. This is for educational purposes only. Your cells begin to not recognize themselves. You see, so if you looked at the episode, the lesson Parasites, okay, number 3, okay, lesson number 3, we spoke about it. What is a parasite? A parasite needs a host. It requires a host for its life. And what does it move in terms of? A parasite moves in terms of control, coercion, okay? And in that, you can see how that translates into yourself and your cells. Us as societies, how do we treat each other? Off paper. Just off something simple as a paper. You see? So this fight is happening within the mind, within yourself, within the cells first, before it becomes an external thing. Once it's external, you've already activated so many things on a multidimensional level. Remember, check multidimensional awareness. Okay? We did that episode 7. All right? That was on Friday. Now we're here. Extrasensory perception. Okay? Number 8. Boom. I know someone in the other episode screenshot. But man, it looks backwards. But I'm just showing you that all the work is my own, and this is for educational purposes only. All right, obviously we do research. We back it up so that we can back it up. But in order to back it up, you need to know where it came back from. Seen? Seen. So all of us, once again, in the other episodes, we've put that, just put this in your next meditation. Just for argument's sake. Who have you learned from that actually knows what you require to know? Outside of the system. Okay, let me rephrase it. When you were a child, or you see children, asking adults simple questions. Mom, Dad, why do we work? Why do we pay to live? Shut up. See? You see what that does to the psyche? Because already, in terms of extrasensory perception, I'm just jumping slightly before is that it gets switched off automatically by systemic programming. If you haven't watched it already, episode 4, programming. Beautiful. We dive into this. Okay? So, right here, what we're seeing is that this is a deep, not even just ancestral, okay? Ancestral, if you watched blood crystal gnosis, okay, that is knowing about your blood. Once again, all of these, they just the same thing, okay? It's just like when you're voting in politics, left, right, it's wings of the same bird. So you're not going to get a solution. They're going to keep you there so that you keep shaking. So that whatever they say, you run there. You see? So it's a psychological game. It's more about your mental. Hello? We're moving into the age of Aquarius. So these teachings, these beings, they'll just allow you to be like, sheesh, double check that quickly. Whoa. Because there's a lot of stuff we do which is not normal. Look at the questions that children ask. Once again, look at the questions you used to ask. And now, what happened? Programmed. Shut up. Quickly. Nah. Just have to do it. All of us. I'm not saying all of y'all. I'm saying all of us, including myself. This is why we're here now. To first and foremost acknowledge. This is part of also going through stages of grief. Whenever you Togozan. This is also part of when you go through stages of grief. Okay, when you go through stages of grief, you will mourn each and every loss. Untangible, tangible, relationship, thing, whatever. If it molded or was a support system in your shadow. Okay, does that make sense? Let me reframe that for you. So as a child, you used to what? Have friends. Yeah, I'm just playing with so-and-so. Nah. Bolisilo. That's a Mzansi joke. Remember Lesilo, those of y'all who remember that. Wow, I was terrified of Lesilo. Wow. For my international audience, that I think it was burnt in ash or something, or in lava or something, and we used to whistle in a buckle. We used to even could do the call this. Yeah, try that thing. It's just like Pinky Pinky or what is it, Candyman? Whenever you say that in the mirror or whatever, it's all folklore. However, extrasensory perception. Right. Now that we've done housekeeping, and that was a beautiful introductory, if I must say so myself, even though, you know, they've been trying to glitch the session, but we here nonetheless, you know what I mean? Thank you to those of you who have joined. Those of you who are cycling in and out, we appreciate it, because once again, the frequency will tell, right? Women lie, men lie, energy never lie. So even if what I'm saying is skibberish, in terms of it makes sense, because what? Extrasensory perception. That's what you're feeling. Those of you who are feeling different things in your body, in your vessel, okay? Different sensations, especially around astrological big movements. Remember, we've had a lot of big things happening astrologically. Whether you believe in this or not, it's been affecting your cells, your selves, pH. Okay, depending on your alkalinity, acid or alkaline, that will determine how your cells react or respond. See, it's either you in fight or flight, or you balanced, calm, relax. But this is your entire nervous system, not just in a little pocket on Sunday. Wow. Because this energy is not only coming in that little pocket on a Sunday. It's always available. So supermoon, 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 supermoon. Whoa. Eclipse, eclipse, supermoon, eclipse. Wow. You see that sun? It's even looking different. If those of you are aware, it shifts angles, man. It's moving like sideways, not east to west only. It's kicking this thing if you focused. What does that mean for you? Wow. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, how did you get here? You're a phenomenon right there. Explain yourself in the flesh. Explain how you dream. And then when you dream, sometimes they become oh wow. But all of these things we've covered in the other lessons and episodes. So was that. This is what we are attempting to figure out. So if you're uninterested, which means you're uninterested in yourself, essentially. So that's none of my beeswax, all right? And at the end of the day, it's really not about you. It's about we. That's how you flip the script. Everything that we're doing is backwards. So we've got to turn 180. If you just want to have a general direction of what's going for what, whatever they say in mainstream, look opposite. If they say China, what's on the map? What's opposite China? But it's a real thing. If you take yourself seriously, you take the children seriously. Okay, you take what's going on with women disappearing, children disappearing. Now even it's coming out that little boys now are at stake. Whew. Where are we, man? Okay, and this could be happening just there in a tunnel next door to you. That time you vaping. None of my beeswax, man. But you know, extrasensory perception. What we do always, to kick off, but I wanted to throw off this algorithm for educational purposes only, of course, so that it doesn't glitch me any longer, because teaching with glitches it's quite frustrating. Okay, because I do have punchlines, right? So I want I like to set them up, okay, because this information is from my cells, most of it. But what I do with the research, and what you're also capable of, is to consolidate it, because this world is not how we're supposed to be living. If you do think so, please switch off and carry on as you were. See you later, or not. Once again, we'll be out here strengthening our extrasensory perception so that we can foresee what's coming, right? There's a lot of crazy, chaotic things happening. This is part of what fifth dimensional beingness is. It's about being aware of your awareness. Yes. Wow. Glorious. And I can live to 500 years old because you're able to tap into certain hormones through your chakras. Once again, go back to the other lessons so that you can put this together for yourself. Jack, Jane, go and grow your beanstalk. Here are the beans. Okay? You tap into these and you can do other things. You can engage in other things, right? You're now playing chess. No more draft. 𝙒𝙖𝙗𝙖. Hey. You're not pushing corners. See? You're not cutting corners now. You're jumping. You're skipping nice. But first, you need to know where you're at. You need to know what's in yourself. What are you chewing constantly? What are you drinking constantly? Because this affects you every now and moment. I mean, those of y'all who are tapped into this at least a little bit, when you hit a dense meal, even if you're on that meat now, woo, like, thank goodness I unprogrammed myself from meat, all right, but it was a journey, all right? Now I don't recognize it. See? You chew this thing, whatever it may be. Wow. Your guts. Your guts. Ouch. Ow. What's wrong with me? Sleeping, itis. You didn't even hit a big meal like back in the day. You used to hit a whole Thanksgiving. Blah. Speaking of, isn't that coming up in the West just now? Look a bit Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Oh, my brother from Miami, Florida. Sage, King Sage, brother. Thank you for coming through. But you see, this thing of the turkey, right? Just to tap into this, because all this programming switches off your ability to tap into ESP, extrasensory perception, right? So all of this truth is for you to be like, right, I could go inorganic and hit that AI route though. That's looking good though. But once again, anything inorganic, once again, check the lessons if you don't already know this. Anything inorganic has a side effect. You are the grounder. It grounds through you. It balances through you. So you're the equalizer. In other words, it equalizes you because it's inorganic. You see, have you noticed in nature, you need to take copious amounts of whatever it is in order to overdose, quote unquote, right? When it comes to synthetic, you know, this is for educational purposes only. Okay? Let's define extrasensory perception. From the dictionary, right? You just hit a bit of Google. So was that appreciations. Appreciate loves. Whoa, see that sneaky spell. See, also for those of you just joining, we spell different because our cells hear us first. Okay? This also goes into the law of attunement, my upcoming book, which shows you how to attune to yourself without having to law of attract. So you're not using force. Okay? Yeah, law of attraction is also contradictory because to attract means you must be magnetic, right? So yes, you've got all these rules and regulations, right? But then you don't complete them. You don't give a full completion. Yes, it can work. I'm not saying it's impossible because I've been through that. You know what I mean? I had to tap into that. At a certain stage, it was crazy in the early 2010s, you know what I mean? Around there. Crazy. So what it is this was created by a Mason. Do your research. Amazing. So that what they gave you was something to get you to point, and then what happens? A glitch. And then what tends to take place is that you go into things which by default just direct you into programming such as finances. Okay? Because, for example, in things like finances, you can trick people, stock market, blah, 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 blah. They started doing that with Wolf of Wall Street. This is for educational purposes only. Okay? They started hitting people hard. I mean, insurance, life covers, all of this stuff is just same, but different. Because, once again, if anything really truly wanted you to live, no one would be dying. Simple. People are now accelerating in their debt. Wow. Why? Interesting, Baba Lex. We did dive into this in the past episodes, in the past lessons. Please tap into those. But just for this episode's sake, this lesson's sake, we are going through gates of hell on earth. This is for educational purposes only. These gates of hell are testing us in the system, in a system which is not designed for life. Point blank period. I can leave that there because that will lead on to the next bunch of lives. I know there's a few comments. Oh, we got the second last episode lesson today of November, masks off. Are you going to be doing more lives? Of course. Also, the Law of Attunement, Teachings Book 1 of 3 is coming out in January. Okay, I'm not going to give the date. It's going to be a surprise. A gift also to myself also. And also it's independently published. But once again, these teachings are ancient, future, present. So it ties everything. But once again, the first law of attunement says, cleanse thy vessel. When you cleanse thy vessel, you come from a clear knowing. Hence, we're getting into extrasensory perception with the clear. We'll jump back into that, okay? So the definition of extrasensory perception is aka a sixth sense or cryptesthesia. That is spelled CRYPTAESTHESIA. Cryptesthesia. It's a mouthful. It's word salads. Once again, spirit of confusion. This is beast language. Yeah, this is, just check Google there somewhere and then run that. Okay, so aka a sixth sense, cryptesthesia, and reception or communication of information gained through a non-physical sense or senses. Sounds about right, Baba Lex. I agree with that, right? Yes, we agree with that. Cool. So extrasensory perception, you could call it a sixth sense, you could call it cryptesthesia, or in other words, reception and or communication of information gained through a non-physical sense or senses. Beautiful. Mwah. We love that. Nice and basic. Cool. So what are the senses though? Because they say they're outside of the senses. Okay, basics. What are our five senses? Because they said that's a sixth sense. So our five senses. Okay, sight, touch, taste, hearing, smell. Perfect. 5 of them. And then extra meaning sixth sense. So what they've done is they've bunched it. They just said sixth sense. Extrasensory perception is something we don't fuck with that. It's mumbo jumbles or whatever you want to call it. It's extrasensory, it's sixth. Wow. Okay. And then also what I came to, in a little bit of research of what I thought I didn't know or was not brainwashed about. Okay. This is for educational purposes only. Is the top four of these sixth senses are clairvoyance, precognizance, telepathy, telekinesis. Okay. So if those are, they even have top lists, how do they just throw it sixth sense? Interesting. Somebody doesn't want you clearly to know something. All right, so we dig deeper. What we did was, we definitely, in terms of clear, going back to clear now, that's a beautiful question. Nice one, my sister Rose. How is it a sixth sense when there are 7 chakras? I like where you're going with that. You know, I thought I was going to have to break that bread, but that's a very great question, okay? 7 chakras, there should be 7 senses, right? 7 days of the week. That's it. So then that should then lead us to ask ourselves, what would the other 2 senses be if they... But then now I just showed you that there's a top already of their speculation. Remember, here in that research, they say speculating. They don't know how to say yes, 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 because spirit of confusion. That's what their design is. You know, we have to begin to stop asking, why would they do that? They're not human. Welcome. This is for educational purposes only. Beautiful. Okay, so I then looked into the clairs. The clairs have 7. You see there? So the clairs, obviously clair, so you know, clairvoyance, but we'll go through them. So clair comes from French, as far as I went. I'm sure there's something a bit deeper, you could really mash that up, but just for this purpose, we don't have to etymology to the nth degree, because clair is clear, so let's make it run. If it's crystal clear, we love that. Cool. So the 7 clairs, all right? Who can let us know what the 7 clairs are? Thokozan, Miss 𝙒𝙗𝙗, for joining us. Okay. Number 1, if you want to write these down. Number 1, voyance. So you can put clair, big clair, C-L-A-R or C-L-A-I-R. Don't quote me. Y'all please go ahead and okay, so this is for a reason. 1 to 7. Number 1, voyance. Number 2, cognizance. Number 3, audience. Number 4, aliens, as in alien with a C-E. Number 5, gustance or gustance, gusto, G-U-S-T-A-N-C-E. Number 6, tangency, T-A-N-G-E-N-C-Y. And then number 7, sentience, S-E-N-T-I-E-N-C-E. There's a silly rule in English, I before E except after C. I don't know if they still teach the you, them, that. But anyway. So see, those are the 7 clairs. I was looking for 𝙒𝙗𝙗. I'm playing. So we've got clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, clairalience, clairgustance, clairgustance, clairtangency, 𝙃𝙚𝙡𝙥, and 𝙃𝙚sentience. Okay. You can also, next to that, or another 1 to 7, what those 𝙃s mean. And some of y'all are going to already peep this. So, number 1, if you put it in that same order, so clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, clairalience, clairgustance, clairtangency, 𝙃sentience. Number 1, see. Number 2, know. Number 3, hear. Number 4, smell. Number 5, taste. I'll go through them again. Number 6, touch. Number 7, feeling. Let me go through again. So these are this is what they are equal to in the physical sense. See? But then that's what they do in the extrasensory perception. Boom. Wow. These guys, wow. Yes. Alludes to the truth, yes. Clear, clear, clear. As much as it means light and bright, it also alludes to the truth. That is from 𝙎𝙘𝙗𝙗. Yes. Yes, thank you for that comment. Absolutely. Because right now we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is radical truth, radical honesty. But number 1, practice with yourself. Do that with self and your cells. Because if you're not able to do that, you're going to live a false reality until. You know, there's those of us, those beings who are going to be moving through to 200 years old in this, you know, linear 3D time. You see what I'm saying? All of these programs, once again, lesson number 4, have to educational purposes only. You have to assess these programs because these programs are what limiting you. But we're going to get into that, which goes to beliefs. Your belief system is your immediate light lock. It's your immediate block. Okay? I don't believe that. It's not going to exist in your reality, no matter how much it exists. See, because you are the alpha omega of your personal reality, hence personality. Oh, they just like that. Oh, you're so lucky. Why are you always so... Maybe they've been practicing other things unconsciously. Maybe they haven't been programmed to not remove themselves from that automatic. You see? So we've been removed from, not just fall from grace, and become mortals in the flesh, well, immortals in the flesh, but also we've become idiot. Point blank period. Hence why there's no emotional intelligence. You got grown adults having freak-offs. I mean, freak-outs. What the It's for educational purposes only. And freak-outs, as in temper tantrum. Behave yourselves. Go and watch that stuff elsewhere. Okay? But you see, that shouldn't be. Okay? This is why children don't grow up. Mentally. Because we're being raised by children who don't know, who in turn learn by people who don't know, and the rest don't know. So what do we know? I mean, in the past lessons we asked this question, all right? But it's not about answering it. It's about sitting with that within yourself and your cells and just being like, wow, what is this thing, entity, whatever you want to call it, frame it. See, that's still a program. You're still blaming something. What is that? It's figure that out. Scary hours, because that's where shadow work comes in. These programs allow you to not be yourself in your own cells. You're hijacked. That's what parasites do. We did that. We went through that in the parasites lesson. Beautiful. Okay? Because this then will make a lot more sense. Hey, wow, Baba Lex, man. What is you on, cuz? What is you on? Let me tell you what I'm on, brother. Structured water. Fasting. Minding my own business. Simple. It's not you don't have to go to the Himalayas. You don't have to go to Kilimanjaro. Pilgrimage. Boom. Boy, save money. Oh, I need to stop it. That is looking for things outside. Yes, experience, wonderful, go for it. But for your growth, man, stop it. That's how you stay in grief. Because you're trying to attain something which will never fulfill you. I've been there. Okay? But unlike others, you know, some brothers before me, they were not conscious enough, or maybe not willpower enough. That comes from your guts. You see, maybe you're living in these chakras too much. Brothers, okay? Talk to the brothers now specifically, because you cannot attain extrasensory perception if you're in the bottom 3 chakras. If you're still material, strictly. Wow. Wow. Whatever, material. Hey. You leave it here. Okay? Extrasensory perception has no perception. It's extrasensory. So if you have perceptions, hold up. If you have beliefs, hold up. Then you do not have the ability to attain extrasensory perception. You will have glimpses, yes. Can you get there inorganic? Yes. Will you have consequences for that? Yes. Karma, man. Duh, it's not me. Once you start moving with universal laws and natural laws, you cannot go wrong. Because wrong doesn't exist. It's a perception. What's wrong is having to bleed out to live. That's what's wrong. So put your consciousness on the things which actually are conscious. Instead of worrying about when you're gonna all right? Just a look of it. And then perhaps you'll be able to, oh, that's what she was trying to say. She actually doesn't want me. Bro. Vuga baba. Hey, catch a gang. So that was just a little bit of a chat to the gentleman. But once again, extrasensory perception is a feminine energy. Because it's to do with your what? Emotions. Aha. Who's more tapped into the emotions? Now we're talking more to the feminine bodies. But all of us can catch a bean from all of this. Because we both sexes, male, female, cut the rest, not here, have the ability to utilize this for creation. And not just pound town. Okay? It's not just bottom 3 chakras. You do it every day when you want to birth an idea. That's creation within you. Okay, masculine energy is electric. It is the energy of doing, of getting it done, of focus, okay, of leadership, right? Planning, right? We're gonna go 1 there, 2 there, brother. 3, you pass the ball there, you bring it back. That's it. Don't blah blah. No, you see, it's decisive decision. That now here. Within you, are you indecisive? Oh, I don't know what to eat. Togozan. That is not a jab, but you see, these are energies within us. Okay, and then on the flip side, if your feminine is not balanced, that's the magnetic. That's your ability to amplify. Okay, that's why the womb man amplifies energy. Once she is attuned with her cycle, her womb again, as in truly connected, wow. Magical things will happen in your life, okay? But also you will stop running into the incorrect sexual partners. That's a free bean right there. A bean. Buena. Okay, so when it comes to balancing these energies within us, before you even get here, you need to be able to, once again, inside job it. Okay, it's an inside job. All of these superhero, hey, flying, hey, you can't get there, man, without first foundation. Okay, you've got to now remove the programming which doesn't allow you, first and foremost, the belief. Remove belief. What have we been saying? We're moving away from the age of belief, push pull, age of Pisces, good bad, wrong right, ouch, into knowing, because this over here is programmed. Everything that is good, bad, wrong, right, it's been programmed. You see, when we were children, okay, in essence, between 0 and 7, okay, maybe younger, but general pocket, we had extra friends that no one saw. We did other things. We were elsewhere. Woo! Until, hey, who you calling there? We're scared. Hey, who you talking here? You know what I mean? See, fears. Boom. Fears add more programming. So all of this stems from where, Baba Lex? You guys are going to have to go and get the book, The Law of Attunement, okay, to fully grasp all of these beings. But however, let me leave you with something, okay? Once again, water, structured waters. And once again, we covered that. Multidimensional awareness. All right, you are a multidimensional being. You are not body. You are not arm. You have an arm. You have a body. So first, remove that. You have to remove that thing that's here, because you will not be able to perceive. John Cena, that information is John Cena. It's just like an entity. They could be passing in certain spaces. Hence why we cleanse our spaces, because energy first. All right? You came in spirit, mind, body, vessel. You assimilated that fashion. So now your deprogramming should be in the reverse fashion. Vessel, body. So the body programming. The law of attunement. The law number 1 says, cleanse thy vessel. Regularly. Fast. Boom. Go for it. Not just like structured waters. Okay? Fast from people. Fast from things. Because especially those which you think you cannot go without. That's where the gold lies. Ooh, over there. Ooh. Yes. You know why? Because that there which we cannot let go of is built off a program. Oh shit, man. Which obviously is a trauma. So that which you actually love is it's a trauma bond. But once again, you got to fast and sit with this, okay? Because the fasting is multi-dimensional, multi-layers, okay? Intermittent fasting, yes, daily, beautiful. That's how you can kick off. Going on 3 years daily, beautiful. @_Kaulani7 from Maui. Beautiful Queen Moderator over there. Thank you for joining us once again and moderating. Beautiful. Some beautiful questions. Yes, exactly. So. Some information just came in from somewhere. Extrasensory perception. Once again, if you know, you know. Right? But once again, if you also have programming, you can get to a certain level, but that information will be distorted, right? It will be put through a sieve, just as it is now. Your chakras are, they filters, okay? They condense light. Once again, we defined memory. Mem, information, from Mayim, Hebrew. Mem, information. Ori, light. Mem ori, information, light. Extra sense ori. Ori. Sense, of course, that which you can feel, interact with. Physical or non-physical, sense. Yes? A knowingness of where you're at, sense. Sori, ori. It's got to do with light. What are we attaining? Our light bodies. This is what is spoken about in the spiritual communities. Yes? Attaining the light body. Oh yes, we shall attain our light bodies. Wow, excuse me. But this is a possibility depending on yourself and your cells. Once again, it's an inside job. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that, because it goes more in depth in the book, of course. And there's 3 teachings, okay? So it's got to do with the amount of light that we are able to hold, not just absorb, right? So as we become light beings, you must become enlightened. The spell is right there. Gorgeous. Enlightened means not requiring, needing, being programmed, coerced, manipulated, hijacked by anything. You, yourself, and you. You get me? In your body, in this vessel for the first time ever. This is what's going to take place, because I dare someone to put in the comments that they have only been the only thing inhabiting their vessel. I'll wait. Especially if you're involved in programming, if you're eating things with trauma, sit already that side. Already sit that way. Quickly. Shuffle. After see? Because when we say that, and if you say no, why are you compelled still? Why do you do things which you don't quite know? Even if it flares up after 6 years, or you have a tendency. What is that? Everyone, okay, right then. Please, let's not play that game. You see what I mean? The trauma is savory and juicy though. Yeah, it is, because it's fuel. But once you're able to get beyond that you created it. You created it. Yeah. Your entire life, everything, boom. Simple. That is also part of 6 stages of grief. That's why we go through these shadow works quickly. First, initially, primarily, quickly. Because so that we're not bamboozled in the front. Remember, energy is vast, and the light that's coming in from that sun is attempting to assimilate in the guts. We already did that live. We also got it on the YouTube channel. Okay, 𝙒𝙗𝙗𝙗 for 100 subscribers. Soul, solar plexus, soles of the feet. Hello, is it clicking now, or hey, this guy's not crazy after all? It all makes sense when you make sense of yourself. If you're looking out there for an answer, if you're researching, your brain fucked up, just I gotta know 20 books by just making yourself crazy, you're gonna lose, because once again, that's another man's lie. Or perception. Remember, we can take beings but then continue. Don't hold it as baggage. That's how traumas are built or reinforced, or whatever you want to call it, right? However you want to carry that, it's still what it is. You can frame it as this, you can frame it as that. There's still no resolution because you're dancing around subjects. For how long? Okay, if you love that life, continue, please. You're well on your way to death. Facts, death culture, it's happening. I'm telling you, check the news, check, if not already happening directly next to you, 30-something-year-olds, 20-something, the 40s, turbo cancers, man. What? Man, if you guys aren't like, wow, you're crazy, you're out of your minds. But once again, I'm not here to judge because you selected it. We have to go back to acknowledging, tending our own gardens. This is these next 20 years. Okay, as Pluto stepped out of Capricorn since 2008 into Aquarius, because Pisces, in terms of energetically, this is also part of extrasensory perception, is that it has a collective, Pluto affects the collective energy. It has a pull to the general. Do you get what I mean? So what most of people are thinking about most of the time will take place as a collective. Okay? However, the individual reality can be separated from that. Especially more now as we moving into Aquarius, because it's about freedom, not about top-down control. So Capricorn, top-down control, order, organization, very meticulous. Okay? Boss, leadership. You can think of a pyramid. Find the middle. That's what pyramid means, by the way, etymology. Okay? But it requires you to have a savior. To be a fangirl, fanboy. I need to save them. Captain Save-A-Ho. Queen Save-A-Clown. You know what I mean? All of those things. And in between, we have to be adults in adult body. It's tough. Yes, because we have not been. See what I'm saying? So, before we overshoot our time here, I want to make sure that I've touched on all of the small nuances and also given where we're headed with this, okay? Extrasensory perception is all about the amount of light you're able to house within you. That's also depending on how much density you have within you. Density is foods, it's relationships. Are you always complaining? Do you have... You're always just stressed out, which means you're also in the wrong environments. Are you working jobs that you don't... You know what I mean? So it's a restructuring that it takes you to be with you. And it's not loneliness. This is that solitude. This is when you can, right. Especially while we fast over the full moon. Okay, I did create the 72-hour water-only full moon fast method for one of these specific reasons. Because I felt in myself that different moons had a different effect. I was like, what? That pertains to the aspects of each individual. Okay? Your mask, if you will. Family mask. Work mask. You see? But you don't have to do that in this age of Aquarius. We don't have to wear masks. That's why 2020, this is for educational purposes only, what do they try and make us wear? Try and make that shit normal. Wow, scary. But I mean, I've got some videos where I was going in anyway, for educational purposes only. And once again, I had to come to the system's gonna system. So instead of fighting like we've done in past lives, okay, and we know this, is we then finesse, not fight. It's called finessing. So we have to deprogram, unlearn, and don't drink the water that they drink. Don't eat the food that they eat. They not like us. They not like us. You see? And then from there, I'm now assessing. That's good for me. those beings are good for me. I'm good for those beings. There's a reciprocation. There's community, common unity. I'm giving love, I'm receiving love. It's 100 100. So relationships will be built off 100 100. Okay? Thank you, @_Kaulani7. You know, you did a post on that on Field Notes. Okay? So 100 100 means that no one is depleted. In one of the lives also, in the lessons, go back and check, we made comparisons. I gave you some examples of this, okay? It's the cup example, all right? If you're giving 50-50, you're already not even 100. Wow. So you're giving, like, less. My gosh, man. Oh, sheesh. Hectic. So the history of extrasensory perception, obviously within our DNA, obviously we covered blood crystal gnosis. I have to tap into this so that you have more awareness, more beings, is that the history of extrasensory perception is vile. We go back further, but you know, as much as y'all can pretty much get is witches and warlocks and sangomas and blah 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 being prosecuted, burnt at stakes, whatever the case may be, by systemic authorities. Okay, we're talking about right wing, hard extremists. Seen? But once again, this also was jumped into or infiltrated or manipulated into through religion. They are said it. This is for educational purposes only. So what religion did, religion, scary etymology. Anyway, what religion does is it gives you ultimate fear of the unseen. Because I mean, you believe in a sky daddy, you elsewhere in your perceptions. So if you're there, you've light locked yourself. That's you. Boom. Oh, I wonder how they can notice that. How did you guys know to leave? There was 3 tornadoes coming. Man, this is what's going to be taking place in certain areas. I mean, certain areas require strong cleansing because they built off things like child trafficking, which is negative energy. Karma it's not just a bitch. Karma is going to be something that people have never seen. And if you think that just because you're a melanated being and you can still, what you're doing to your own people, Mzansi, talking about politics, man, your days are coming, whether it's in this realm or next. Because at this stage, we're moving to the age of knowing. You should know better. So if you know better, do better. One step further, be better, right? We're moving to a state of being from a state of doing. Remember, we've been human doing for the longest because human doing entails being programmed. Scary hours. Okay, let me just... Alright, TikTok, thank you for the update. Give us 2 seconds, guys. Yep, know better than do better. Then eventually you just automatic be better. Because a state of being means that you don't have to force anything. Remember, we're coming out of the age of Pisces. So that entailed sky daddies, worship, idol worship, celebrities, fanning. When in actual fact they still go to the bathroom like you, but they just knew more than you in terms of Luciferian tactics. Wow. Truth is truth, huh? Like a lion, it doesn't have to defend itself. So it's all going to be revealed. So if you are someone, especially now that we've entered 16 days of activism against gender-based violence and child trafficking, we say freedom, okay? To our people for those programs, because our eyes are in the wrong place. Since I began, sorry, this is just an interlude. Since I began the Conscious Men community worldwide, right? I'm finding that these programs, even in those who are doing the work, whatever, is still tied to the system. So anything still tied or has its roots or base level still back there, it's not going to work out, man. Watch. That's why if you want to repent, cleanse yourself, cleanse thy vessel, this decade is this decade. Wow. This is what you call second chance decade. Wow. Okay? Because all that glitters has not been gold. Not true gold. Fool's gold. Maybe. See? Anyway. Thokoza. Grand greetings to my brother Luke Mind Power, all the way from Australia, but he's traveling currently. But just moving forth, in terms of with the religions and prosecution, the reason why especially us as men cannot tap into extrasensory perception is because we are not tapped into our emotions. Emotions linked to the element of water. Okay? As we attempt to balance our chakras, which is our cells, our selves, pH, alkalinity, okay, our potential hydrogen, with the assistance of the sun and your ability to program to give the environment the correct conditions or the optimal conditions for the vessel to do what vessel intelligence is able to through consciousness. Right? Remember, we're saying ESP, you cannot receive ESP in terms of a gnosis if you yourself have not been acquainted with who you truly are. Okay? We've been hijacked. As we said in episode 3, parasites, is that a parasite's a mode to life is needing to hop from host to host. And so if we went to programming, episode 4, a program is parasitic in nature. Therefore, it needs to control, manipulate, coerce. Okay? It has to shake something in order to not show the true angle of light. Information, mim, ori. Ori, light. Mim, water. Mayim from Hebrew. You see? So all of these codes are all over the place. What the sun is doing and all of the other things taking place, all of these things taking place, full moon after full moon after full moon, we've got eclipse this, eclipse that, we've got the sun has never done this has never done that. It's doing something to ourselves, not doing something to, you see, that's more force. That's toxic masculinity, but in a patriarchal sense, right? But it's the program within us that we are able to just directly or indirectly lean on that. So this is why the deprogramming and unlearning, in order to perceive the extra sensory perception, is imperative. Okay? Now, we touched on the children, the prosecutions, the religions, conspiracies. Just briefly, this is for educational purposes only, all right? MK Ultra. Wow. Basically, if those of you who are unaware, you can continue with your research, but it was the study of how to control the mind using methods such as drugs in the 80s, 60s, between the 60s and 80s. They always tell you dates, but please just take that with a grain of salt. If they tell you something outside, 9 times out of 10, they've been doing it. You see what I'm saying? So dates are a bit... Use your gnosis. Okay, once you have a clear vessel and you have taken information, or you in a place, just like the room that you walk into, was there a fight in here? Yeah, how did you know? Oh, you see, boom. That is an extrasensory perception. All right, I'll allow one of you to put in the chat which clair is that. Remember, we got the 7 clairs. And beautifully, one of our beautiful sisters in here led us to the 7 chakras. But they told us about the 5 senses, and then a sixth sense, but we have 7 chakras, or known, right? Or predominant, because they are linked to organs, right? Boom, boom, boom. In that sense, we then, with the research we did for this episode, for this lesson, was that we looked at the clairs. So there's 7 clairs, and all of those clairs relate to a physical sense. Okay? Clairvoyance, I see. Claircognizance, I know. Clairaudience, I hear. Clairalience, I smell. Clairgustance or clairgustance, I taste. Clairtangency, I touch. Clairsentience, I feel. Interesting. So if those extrasensory perceptions rather, are a mirror of the physical senses, but they only put 5, what's missing? Wow! Because there's something not adding up there, and I'm going to allow you to continue with that, okay? Play with that, because that will allow you to open your consciousness, open your extrasensory perception, okay? Especially those of you who tend to, especially now with this energy available, the more attuned you are, you will know things. Go there. This thing's freezing now for educational purposes only. Wow. Okay. You will start to begin to know things without even going to places, without even picking up a phone, or so-and-so is going to text me. Cling, cling. Wow. You see, things like this, because the energy is shifted. The atmosphere, the waters, okay? Air, this here, space, is a type of liquid or type of water. What phase? Some would say it's a gaseous phase. I would say hogwash. Confidently with my chest. It's this air, oxygen. You guys, please, in the comments. But I would let you know that it's definitely not gaseous. That's too basic. Okay, yes, there's density. Someone's going to come with science, blah, blah, blah. Is the earth flat? Tapping into the 12 senses. There we go. Can you confirm? Of course, you can confirm that we're not on a ball. You can't confirm that it's flat. But you can confirm that it is a plane and it's not a ball. You see, Luke? It's pretty tricky with the spells. Remember, we are contending with the trick, trying to decode the trick with the tricks. You see, you have to unlearn. So if you're going at anything from a higher gnosis with what you already know, it's a wrap, because you will light lock yourself. Memory, remember Ori, your information, it will cease to refract, you know, in hues and rays of frequencies, information. Yes. Yeah, not flat, not a globe. But you know, that's a debate which you guys can have for sure. But once again, you can rest assured that if you were spinning, or just take a ball, you know, everything we can do out there, you can replicate here. As above, so below. So everything is geometrical. It's patterns. Once you know universal laws, natural laws, and energy, frequency, vibration, everything will begin to make a sense. Here we go again with extrasensory perception. You see, this is all us. So we don't know what our full senses are, or the capabilities. You see what I'm saying to say all of that? To say this? We have to deprogram. Yes. So Luke is asking, it's so confusing. It's not confusing. It's only confusing if you come with the programming to decode the program from the programmer. You see, it's like I give you a puzzle to do a Sudoku. Okay, well, I create the Sudokus, but then you know what I mean? That type of a concept. So it's like, and then I give you the rules. Okay, here it is. So I do a Sudoku, and then I say, those rules don't count. These are the rules for this. That's what we're doing. Then we're trying to solve all of this normal stuff with these rules, which does this, spirit of confusion. But it's a multi-dimensional thing. That's a beautiful question. That's a beautiful question, Luke. Thank you so much for that one. Exactly. Fascinating topic. And this is why we made it slightly longer, so that we can explore it slightly. Space would be dimensional. Okay, so space is not what they've told us. Once again, for extrasensory perception purposes and educational purposes only, that there is only what we can know. So once again, there's beings who have flown things like GoPros. Make that experiment. All of us. Let's do that. All right? What you will find is that it'll hit a certain place, and then you'll be able to see a horizon. Flat. Okay? And the only reason why I'm not going to go into metaphysics here, well, I might, for my brother Luke's purposes and sake, because this is interesting, this is where I play, is that we can understand, overstand, and understand it. So we can omnistand this with the foundation, but a foundation of yourself and your cells. Okay, my first book, The Law of Attunement, is coming out in January. I do break this down. Everything is supposed to be simple so that we can actually live life. In other words, what we are living is death culture. If you are living death culture, in other words, you have the program of fear running through you. Number one, with fear, you cannot go into other realms. Firstly. So that light lock in itself, boom. And also remember that we've learned from people who don't know. Okay? In the Law of Attunement, I do, and I'm also going to tap more into this, is that this programming is actually Luciferian, quote unquote, false light, okay, false light bearer, meaning that it's able to give you what you need, or assistance or help, but it's still at the back same time, it's got a knife behind the back, meaning that you have a plaster, you have a, just for now, that'll just take you to there, but eventually you are on a highway to hell, to death. Look at all of the arms of the system, okay? Healthcare. Okay? Even finances, things like insurance, funeral cover. Guys, the more you dive deeper into it, everywhere you look, tax, it's like it's taking from you. But what is it taking? More than just paper, which once again only is as valuable as the perception. And also, the more are on that perception, the more it will be real. How many people are on the same perception that fairies are a real dimensional entity? Very few. But when those very few are together, they will witness that together. You see, it's a level of consciousness, of frequency. The unseen governs the seen. Whether you want to be blue in the face, be angry, blah, blah, it's up to you. All right? I've already given you beautiful real-time examples, okay, in the past lessons. Because we're able to tap beyond what we know, the senses. So the extrasensory means that first and foremost, are you aware of your senses? Baba Lex, wow. Yes, you're programming. You hit so much sugar that you have no perception of taste. Watch this. Do a fast. Take a fast by yourself. Take a 72-hour water-only fast, and then try and taste that same sweets again. Oh! Get lockjaw. Your thyroid now becomes active because your salivary glands activate. This is where you begin to assimilate the essence of what it is that you are programming yourself with. So you can prime your receptors, your acids, quote unquote, for lack of a better spell. Okay, so once again, this is programmed by a lot of and trauma. On top of that, you're in fear. Where does fear sit? The liver. So, and then this anxiety, all of that, adrenals. So this whole system of yours is off key, completely off. Wow. Your cells are checking out. They just, nope, can't do it. Can't handle that weight, boss. Boss, that's too much, boss. Wow, boss, come on, boss. Because boom, McDonald's, see, Thanksgiving, it's not even Thanksgiving, guys, come on, okay? Also, you must see what they do to the turkeys, okay? I'm not pro PETA or whatever, I'm just saying, you eat trauma. It's not about that though, but it is about that. But you see, this is things we are going to come into contact with as we push closer to the age of Aquarius. You have no reason but to confront this within yourself and your cells, because you can deny it. But guess what? Go to bed at night. Shit. My liver. Don't feel the same anymore. Oh, get out in the AM. Bro, you're 25. My kneecaps. Ouch. What? Oh, heart problems. Ouch. 30 years old. No, you see? It's a choice. However, there are multiple choices. It's life school. But what is your selection? All right? You have to begin to be conscious, especially in an adult body, of your garden. We tend to our gardens. You tend to yours, you tend to yours. And therefore we have 100, and therefore your ship is balanced. Your waters are balanced. They are tuned. And therefore all of the ships in your waters or amongst your waters are balanced. They're reciprocative. They're caring. They're nurturing. Okay? They're directive, intentional, focused. Okay? Supportive. 100. They're not bleeding out. They're not parasitic. They're not toxic. They're not trying to get back. They're not because of. They're not they did that to me. They're not, yeah, our people. Because this is also generational and, like we spoke about in blood crystal gnosis, our generational traumas. There's those of us who are shedding this, including myself. And I've had to do a lot of shadow work. Okay, it's not easy by any means of the way, right? However, what I do know, what I can tell you, and what my brother Luke Mind Power can tell you, is that you have to self-love. You have to have that deep compassion, okay? Compassion to other realms, like you've never done before. Those moments when you're by yourself, you will be crying. You will remember things which you forgot, or you thought you did. Remember, structured water holds memory. All of your structured waters, from your sexual fluids, amniotic fluids, which hold memory of other memory, your blood crystal, which holds your bone crystal. I mean, you see? Also, we're going to begin to take heed of our energetic health. This is all how to attain your extrasensory perception. All right? That's hygiene also. You don't just pop into any zone. Hey. No. Because once again, karma is going to be very quick in that it's going to course correct things immediately. The further we get into the age of Aquarius, the quicker what they say karma or your just desserts is going to come, as I like to say. It is what it is. You have to be brutally, not brutal because it's not forceful, radically honest and radically truthful with yourself and your cells. You know what? Those crisps that I'm chewing, ow, they're really hitting me over here. So, but I'm addicted. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Play with that over there. Sit with that. It's addictive. Why? If you don't know, there's assistance. There's coaches out here who you can resonate with. Okay, all right. Because once again, most of us. Cat_Kaulani7, Luke Mind Power, okay? We had to go through series of strong awakenings to step into what we call our power. Your power lies within you, and so does the extrasensory perception. First, you must become aware of your cells and yourself. If you don't know what's going on in your own hip, my love, and not you, my love, but you know what I'm trying to say. If there's something wrong with your hip, and you don't know what's going on, I'm not saying you idiot, I'm saying that means you're unaware. Unawareness. So then how are you meant to be conscious of extrasensory perceptions, no matter what they are? Yes, you will be, these things will be sporadic. You might come into the consciousness every now and again, yes. Because the air, the atmosphere, once again, is it gas? I'll leave that up to you. I already know. Metaphysically, right? So all of these, especially the programming, from childhood, which is the trauma, and then the generational through the blood crystal, okay, has to be cleared so that you're able to, number one, be aware, okay? So the awareness is the best thing, all right? And the quickest way to shut it down is to neglect yourself and your cells, is to consciously or unconsciously feed yourself trauma, okay? Not taking fasts. It doesn't have to be my fast, but not taking fasts, because a fast allows your guts to relax. You switch off your engine to your vehicle, to your vessel, to your mothership. Okay? When you do that, automatically processes are switched on. Gene expressions become available. Remember, we covered junk DNA. Okay? Once again, you think it's gibberish. You think it's rubbish. You think it's woo-woo. That is your belief system. Therefore, you are light-locked. You will not experience this in its true essence, unfortunately, or fortunately. Maybe you're just not ready. You see? So everything is for everything and nothing is for nothing. Simple. Either it's there or it's not. This is also what the energy is doing. This is why it seems like things are certainly urgent within your self and your cells. All right? Because time is also, quote unquote, speeding up. Quote unquote time. You know why it's speeding up. Because your cells are speeding up. Or they are attempting to. Depending on the programming, depending on how you treat yourself in terms of speech, talking to your cells, yourselves, your emotional well-being, your emotional intelligence. Are you always stressed out? Ouch! Always gossiping? Those all determine your ability to attune to the frequencies. Hence the law of attunement. We're simply attuning to our own unique frequency and therefore able to broadcast our unique frequency. In broadcasting our unique frequency, we emit a certain light ray or light rays. Once again, you want to attain light body, you got to also first get to your extrasensory perception. With that being said, this has been a beautiful episode 8, lesson 8. I do know that some beans were given nicely to you, Jack, Jane. I want to just say thank you to those of you who continuously support us. And also, we're going for 1K subscribers on YouTube channel. Please share if this does make sense, if it touches you somewhere. Just a young like, a young subscribe, even if you don't have to follow me again or whatever the case may be. Something has made sense on this extrasensory perception episode especially. Please make sense. Click that like, click that share, that subscribe, and also hope to see you soon again. All right? Don't get tired of this mug, man, of this face. We're going to be doing a lot of more strong work on the ground in terms of raising the consciousness to 𝙃𝙗𝙗. All right? Grandmother is rising, okay? Rise of the divine feminine. that is within us, in ourselves, as well as Mama Africa. All right? I want to say all of this chaos is a must. It's necessary, especially in Mzansi. Here, all over Africa, all of the fuck shit taking place, it's necessary so that we can wake up as a collective. Okay? So we can take on this common unity. We claim to be in community, but there's no common unity. But over here, we stay unified. One field. I go by Baba Lex. Please. Shh. Shh. Remain blissful. See you next time. Don't forget, stay liquid.